Hey guys, welcome to GameStop. Welcome to VRAC. Sorry, I was in a little bit of a back memory there, working from GameStop. But today we're here, and I'm going to be sharing the stories about my times working there. Before this video gets going too hard, make sure that you like the video. It would mean a lot to me. I'd really appreciate it. Comment down below whenever the video is done. Let me know what you thought, and make sure you subscribe, okay? So today is going to be the first in a series of videos that I'm making for stories about my times working at GameStop. Now, we all have great memories from GameStop. It was a place that, and I'm speaking about like it's already dead, it was a place that we all loved to go and get games for cheaper prices back in the day and midnight releases. There's a lot of good memories with it. And I would like to share a lot of those memories, good and bad, with you guys about working there. So, when I started working at GameStop, one of my first nights was working the Destiny 1 midnight release. And that was my first midnight release. Now, I remember the way that GameStop midnight releases used to be. They actually shipped us a whole box full of bags of candy to hand out to people, along with little goodies like posters and items. And we'd have raffles like giveaways for some of the promotional stuff. And if you had a certain number, we drew your name, we'd give that away. Like, it was a really good time. And when I first started working at GameStop, I mean, they were awesome. And it was right before they started bringing in all the collectibles as well. So we'll get a little bit into that later. But actually, let's get into it right now. Why not? So when I started working at GameStop, it was around that time. And it was right around the time that they started bringing in their new ideas of selling more than just games, collectibles. And, you know, at first it was really cool because there'd be a little bit extra in the store and, you know, pick up a collectible or what was that? I think we first started off with, man, what was some of the first collectibles we put up? I think it might have been pop figures. Now I'm thinking about it. Pop figures, we started putting those up. What else? It's hard to remember everything that came in. But it was pop figures, and then I remember when they started introducing t-shirts, it was really cool because we could wear any of the t-shirts that we got, or that we bought from there. So that was really nice too. Now, one of the perks in the beginning for working at GameStop was the video game developers really wanted the people on the front line of sales to say good things about their games. And what better way of doing that than allowing them to actually have the games, to play the games. So one of the perks of working at GameStop was you would get some digital codes for games that just came out for free. Now, mostly managers got these codes, and my manager, the first manager, I won't say his name, but he was a great man. If you're watching, thank you for watching. Great manager. And, you know, if he didn't like the game or didn't have the system, and I did, or one of the other employees did, he'd take turns giving out his codes. But sometimes the like GAs and SGAs, they would get codes as well. So it was pretty good. You know, feel like we were treated really well at first. And you could really start to feel the gears start to change. The more I worked there, the longer I worked there, a lot of the stuff within the company started changing. And they were less focused on how happy we were working there and more focused on, I don't know what, to be honest, but it wasn't that. GameStop had a really bad way of protecting its bad employees and not nourishing its good ones. So I know that after my first manager moved on from the company, and they had a void for a bit, right? And that void needed to be filled. Now, I was an SGA at the time, and I really, really wanted to be a store manager. I heard stories about the GameStop conference. When once a year, if you didn't know, once a year they'd send off GameStop managers to this big conference, and they would get consoles, video games, play video games before they came out. They'd meet celebrities from the gaming industry. It sounded like a dream come true, and they got to go once a year and got paid for it. Like, amazing. So, of course, this was the thing that I wanted to do. Now, when this position came open, you know, I was ready for it. I had some training as an assistant manager at Radio Shack beforehand, so I had some management experience. It was my store, and only one other person from my store was applying for it. So at the time I was like, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to get it, right? Well, GameStop apparently only hires from the outside, from what I've seen. Or they do this weird thing where they'll take an SGA or an ASM, which at the time meant assistant store manager. I think they changed it to ASL, assistant store leader. They changed that right at the end before I left. But they would take them from a different store instead of promoting from within, or from a different company, and bring them in out of nowhere. And it just seems really unfair, right? So I applied. I had an interview, and things seemed to go really well. But they brought in a manager from somewhere else. I think he was, and he was a good guy, but they brought him in. He was relatively new. I think he was just a GA from another store. And I thought, well, that's odd. But you know what? Can't get it every time, right? When there's a new opening, I'll apply again. Well, this really started to show just how often they go through their management, right? So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. But so we went from one store manager to the next, right? Now this new store manager, I was upset that I didn't get the position, but understanding. So I continued working, doing my best. I had amazing numbers for their sales. I had amazing reviews for their surveys. And there was another employee, which I will not name, but he did not have amazing sales. And honestly, our customers hated him. They did not like dealing with him. I did not like dealing with him. I know of customers that would come in, see that he was working, and did not want to be there, so they would leave. Now, you'd think if you had an employee like this, you wouldn't want him working there, right? You definitely wouldn't want that around. Well, apparently they didn't care about that, and he would get negative reviews for our store often. People would complain about him, but they would never ever actually get rid of him. And it was odd, but that just seems to be the way that GameStop works. From when I was working there, you know, they just don't know how to deal with management, it seems like, or how to hire from within at all. They bring people in from elsewhere. Now, around this time, going about midway into my employment at GameStop, I noticed that we started to get less things for midnight releases, right? Less things to give away to customers. We weren't getting those boxes of candy. We weren't getting promotional items as much that we could give away. In fact, sometimes we were told not to give them away at all, to destroy them and throw them out. And which makes no sense. If you're going to throw it away, make your customers happy, right? Well, as these gears started turning, I started noticing things. And eventually, our second manager, the store manager at the time, ended up leaving. I think he became a stay-at-home dad and had a new kid. So, congratulations to him. But a new position opened up for store manager. Now, I've been there almost 2 years now at the time. Was doing amazing, being an SGA. And position opened up for that. And I applied again. And instead they bring in another person from the outside, but I think it was from another store, like a ASM, assistant store manager. Now, without me getting too much into the gory details of that situation, just trying to think about how to play this out correctly. So there were some allegations towards him that were 100% true because they were witnessed by a customer. Needless to say, he was not a good store manager, and he ended up getting fired as well. But what it seems to me is that GameStop as a company just can't seem to get their shit together. I've never seen a company make so many horrible decisions one after another and not learn from them, right? Like, it's bewilderly. Or I did not use that word right, but you know what I mean. I'm just in awe and in shock at that. But anyways, that's a little bit of the insight about the things that go on at GameStop with their management, their hiring. It's a revolving door of management, it seems like. And that is kind of counterintuitive to what you want a manager to be, right? You need somebody there, it's dependable, can get the stuff going. And then when they get a good manager, like my first one, they just get rid of them. And it's ridiculous. So, anyways, let's move on now to another story. I'll get more details into the rest later, but I want to save stuff for other episodes. Funny story about my times at GameStop. So, I just got promoted to SGA, which means I have keys, and now I can be alone at the store to run it, right? In place of a assistant store manager or a store manager. And it was literally my first day as an SGA. And my store manager goes, all right, Matt, I'm going on lunch break. I'm going to go get some food. You got this? And I'm like, I got this, man. It's going to be cake. He's like, all right, good to go. So he went and got food, went in the back to eat it for his lunch break, right? So I'm manning the station. I'm just like, all right, whoever comes in, I got him. I'm going to help him out. And I got this. I am in charge now. And literally, and I couldn't make this up, literally, first person comes in. After this happened, I literally thought it was a test. First guy comes in with a copy of Gears of War 1 for Xbox 360. At the time, GameStop sold it for 99 cents. 99 cents, that's what it sold for. This man came to trade it in, so you can only imagine what's about to happen. He comes up to me and says, hey, I just want to trade this game in. I want to look around or something, figure out what I can get. I'm like, all right, sure, you can trade this game in. Are you a Powerful Wars member? And he says, nah, I'm just going to go look around. So I scan it in. I say, it's Gears of War 1. I scan it in, and I say, all right, you got 10 cents for trading. Now, mind you, this sold for 99 cents, okay? And he looked at me and said, that's a $60 game. And I go, no, it's not. It was, but it's not now. We sell it for $1. And he's like, show me. And he runs over to the wall and picks up Gears of War, sees that it's 99 cents. And he goes, whatever, and runs back up to the counter, grabs the copy of Gears of War, and says, keep it, effing Jew, and throws it at me and walks out. And then I guess my manager heard the commotion because he walks out and goes, what the hell just happened? And I'm like, oh, dude called me an effing Jew, threw Gears of War at me and ran out because I offered him 10 cents in trade-in. And he was like, oh, dude, come on. I thought he was testing me, for real. I even asked him, was that a test or something? He's like, no, dude, it's cool. And I never ran into anything like that after. It was just crazy that was the first time that I ever had in the store to myself, and that's the first thing that happened. So that's a little funny story. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The likes really are important, and so is the subscription. Let me know if you have any good stories about GameStop, if you work there, and you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching VRAC.